everybody, it's Kyle. I am coming to you from my basement. Had a week off there, but back to you with a new episode this week. It has been a madhouse around here, but a madhouse in a great way. It's actually really been this last weekend and everything was pretty awesome. First off, it was my wife's birthday, so that was fun. We did some fun things and had good times. She also wanted to go to Lawrence, Kansas. There's a store there she really likes now called Third Planet. And yeah, she's just into that whole style, you know. We love incense. We always kind of have. And she wanted to get some of those as well as some other jewelry and stuff like that you can't really get in most places. It kind of has to be that transcendental type store. But she really liked that. And I got to go to Love Garden Records, which is just down the street from there in Lawrence. And I got 3 records for $13, man. Picked up some good ones. So I'll tell you about those in the second half of this. And we just went and had lunch. We went with our friend Julie and my daughter. Audrey came along with us. My son is actually at Boy Scout camp, so he couldn't go. But the day before that, which was actually my wife's birthday, she went and took his girlfriend, and they went to go to Visitor's Day down there at the Boy Scout camp. So my son was super excited. Of course, to see his girlfriend, but I'm sure also to see his mom. And I had to stay here because my daughter had 2 tryouts on that Saturday for volleyball club volleyball, whatever you want to call it. What's really good in my life, I mean, all of that stuff was a lot of fun. It was really great, but I'll do a little bit of dad bragging again. My son is in the Mickasay tribe stuff down in Osceola, Missouri. It's Camp Bartle, H. Rowe Bartle Camp. And he was awarded the position of fire builder. So pretty exciting for him. I know you probably don't know what that means, but you can probably look it up. Mickasay is MIC-O-SAY. And it is, I don't know. You just have to, I can't really even explain it, but it ties in with American Indians to Boy Scouts of America. And it's fully supported by the American Indian groups, and they're very proud of it. And my son is very proud to be a part of it as well. But yeah, he was pretty excited to be awarded that. So he is now Fire Builder. What is it called again? Fire Builder Charming Wolf. So pretty cool. Pretty cool name. Cooler name than I've ever been given. And I like Hawkman. So there's that. And then my daughter, at her tryouts, now we had gone to one team's open gyms quite a lot. And that was the first tryout on Saturday morning. But it didn't go very well. She didn't seem like she was really into it. And she didn't do very well. But also, she just didn't seem to really want to be there. Which is interesting, because that's the place she chose a lot to go to do a lot of these open gyms, to get recognized by people. But, it was kind of a bummer. And they actually gave her an offer right out the door, which is weird. I mean, you're talking about a 2-hour tryout, and they're already deciding what they're going to offer people. It was really weird. But they didn't offer her the greatest deal. I mean, it was kind of like a lower-end team when her skills are above that, really. So she was pretty bummed out. It was kind of a bummer. But, she and I went on some errands. We picked up some stuff for my wife's birthday to kind of surprise her. And then when my wife got home in the afternoon, her friend Julie had baked her a cake. And so she brought that over, and we all had some of that. But it's a homemade from scratch, orange cake, and it was really delicious. So that was my wife's birthday cake. She has to have a birthday cake. Trust me, I know that now. Wasn't a big deal for me growing up, but for her it was a very big deal. So we enjoyed some of that, and we got ready and then went to the second tryout, which was that evening. And wow, I mean, this is a more advanced team also. They're definitely, they tend to have really great players on this club that she was going for in the second tryout, and she crushed it. I mean, it was just nonstop barrage of talent, and she did everything right. She's pretty tall, so they've got her as a hitter, and she usually plays middle. But they needed somebody to help set, and she went over and helped set. She's a really good setter also, but usually people who are super tall at this level aren't setting. But she can, and she's actually one of the better ones. And then she played some of the the backcourt or the back three as well, and did pretty good. But she really had some really great hits and some great serves. She really just kind of blew everybody away. And she decides that's where she wants to be, and she didn't care what level. If they were to ask her, she would go to that club. So then the next day we went back, because they had tryouts like so many days in a row. The next day we went back, and we were told that we were asked by one of the coaches, was excited to see her there again, because she wasn't going to be able to come because she had a Girl Scout leadership thing. And this is after we went to Lawrence and had fun and everything. But she didn't want to do that. She wanted to go back to this volleyball club. So we let our kids make our decisions, their own decisions, based upon, unless it's going to be something that completely hurts them or is just really a horrible decision, then we'll just discuss it with them. But, that's what she wanted to do. And so her mom is a Girl Scout leader and everything, and she called and let them know, she was going to try and pursue this, and they were fine. No problem. They could have someone else step in and take that role. And we went to the second night tryouts on this, and we were told that by another parent that they were asking about Audrey. The coaches were. And at the end of the night, after everything was over, one of the coaches came up to us and was just talking about how, they just love Audrey's enthusiasm, and she's got a smile on her face. She's happy, and that's a huge part. They need that on these teams. And in addition, she's very talented. So it really worked out for her, and they asked, or worked out for them, and they asked if we had gotten an email yet with her offer. We were kind of floored, like, wow. After one practice, really, or one tryout, they were asking her to come play. And then we found out they were asking her to play on the Premier Club team, which is a higher level than she's played on before. So that was huge bonus. And so she's jazzed. We got the email last night when we went to this third tryout night, and she's going tonight and tomorrow night too. She's going to all of them because she just has fun playing there. And everybody there is really great. But I will tell you this, what the most amazing thing that happened that first night at tryouts, and I'm very proud of her making the premier team and all that. But one of the most amazing things that happened that first night was there was a girl there who is new and didn't really know anybody and was kind of off by herself. And my wife had said, Audrey needs to go over and talk to her. And I was kind of like, well, let it be. She'll do that if she wants to. And she said, Audrey. And Audrey looked at her, and my wife just kind of pointed her eyes towards that girl. And Audrey just went over, started talking to her, hanging out with her, stuff like that. Then the other girls Audrey knew from school and stuff started hanging out with her. And then that girl's frown turned upside down, and she had a great night the rest of the night at that tryout. So that's my proudest moment, is to see just how good of a human being my daughter is. And my son's the same way. He's really good at stuff like that. And they're just really very, nice people. And that's our biggest hope with them. I mean, it's great she's playing sports. It's great he's in Boy Scouts. It's great all these things they're doing. But wow, I mean, that was just impressive to see her do that. And it almost brought a tear to my eye. I mean, it was just all remarkable. And that's just who she is. And my wife told me later that, yeah, she had asked her to do that a few times at Girl Scouts, and it really worked out very well too, which is awesome. Really can't say much more than that. But that's it. I mean, that's what's going on that's good in my life, guys. I'll come back after the break here and tell you about some things that I'm into right now and some new records that I got. So let me turn it over to Kyle. Hey, Kyle. All right, and we're back. Okay, what am I into right now? Well, I already told you that I did pick up some records when I was in Lawrence, but I actually picked up one before that. I did pick up Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar on that To Pimp a Butterfly album is one of my favorite songs right now. I know I'm about 7 years late to the party, but I really dig that tune. And the rest of that album is great too. I mean, he's really great. I just kind of missed the boat because I wasn't really into newer hip hop and rap, but I've kind of changed and gotten more into that kind of stuff. And that's a great record for sure. I think I have 2 Kendrick Lamar records now. So I'd been listening to that a little bit. And when we went to Lawrence, I said, well, I'll just go down there and take a look. But I went down to Love Garden just thinking I'm not going to really spend anything if I don't see anything. But if I do, I'm not going to spend very much, right? So I had some pocket money with me. Start looking, start coming across some really good deals. The first one that I came across was Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle. And it's the original printing from 1976. I don't think it's the actual original record, but it's the original of this version of it or whatever. And it's great. That thing was, I want to say that one was, maybe $7 or something like that. I don't know. It was a really good deal, whatever it was. And, I kept looking through there a little bit and came across a couple other ones. And, I love Joe Walsh. And he's definitely my favorite Eagle. And so I came across his record, which is one of my favorites of his. It's called But Seriously, Folks. It's the one that's got Life's Been Good. So if you don't know that song, I guarantee you do know that song. And then I also found a copy of the Romantics' self-titled debut. That's the one that's got What I Like About You on it. Great song. Those 2 were like $3 each or something. And you know what? I forgot too. I did pick up a couple other records. I had ordered a copy of Radiohead OK Computer because it kind of became available again. Before this, I've only been able to find it for about $150. But on this new printing, I got an email from one of the record groups I'm part of, and they said they had so many copies. It was like $40, I think. And so I ordered one and got that, and it's fantastic as well. And then when I took my daughter, when we went to go find, birthday cards and some stuff for my wife for her birthday, I was in Target, and I noticed they had I remember this, Target had this special edition of Exodus by Bob Marley and the Wailers. But it was like $40, and it came with a t-shirt inside of it that's too small for me. But I was like, I really don't want that t-shirt, but I kind of want that record. Well, they had it half price. So I went ahead and bought it for $20 and gave my daughter the t-shirt so she can look cool walking around wearing a Bob Marley and the Wailers t-shirt. so that worked out for everybody, I guess. But I mean, that's kind of what I'm into. And then today, guys, of all days, as you're listening to this, I will be receiving my copy of the box set of every studio album for Frank Black and the Catholics. Whew, I am so jazzed, man. I love Frank Black and the Catholics. Seen him probably 5 or 6 times when he was touring a lot with that group, and boy, I love him. So really looking forward to listening to those, and that ought to hold me out for a while. I'm just kidding. I probably will buy more records. Anyway, that's what I'm listening to right now. That's what I'm enjoying. The other thing I've been listening to is when we had our little road trip to Lawrence, my daughter had asked me the day before, actually, to play the song Master of Puppets by Metallica. So if you don't know what's going on, right, why that song's popular right now, it's popular for the same exact reason that Running Up That Hill is popular by Kate Bush from the 80s. It's popular because both of those songs are featured rather prominently in the 4th season of Stranger Things. And actually the scene with, both of the scenes with Running Up That Hill becoming a part of the Stranger Things storyline is amazing. But Metallica's Master of Puppets, that scene where that song is incredible. And yeah, and from what I hear, Metallica really approves, and they totally love that scene, and they're very proud of it. So pretty cool stuff. So there's that. What have I been watching? We're getting... My daughter kind of went ahead a little bit because we were all 3, my wife and I and my daughter. My son's too cool for this stuff now. But he's got a girlfriend too, man. So he's busy all the time. And his girlfriend is getting caught up with him on Stranger Things so they can watch all of the newer Stranger Things together. And I think maybe they're doing that with Umbrella Academy too. Anyway, the 3rd season of Umbrella Academy, we started watching with my daughter. And then she kind of wanted to go ahead because we couldn't get us all together, but she still wanted to see what was going to happen. So she watched a couple episodes without us. That show is pretty fantastic as well. I really like the way they wrote in the whole thing with Elliot Page. I don't know if you know who Elliot Page is. Elliot Page is trans male. Ellen Page is who Elliot used to be. And she was a great actress. She's been in a bunch of different things, but she was in the first 2 seasons as Vanya. And even at the beginning of this season, she's Vanya. But the transformation that takes place in it it really works. I heard they were going to bring her transformation over to the storyline, and I was like, oh boy. But it works. It works great, and it's actually really touching. So, pretty awesome. But yeah, we've been watching that. Trying to think of anything else really that I've been watching. I mean, not much. There's a bunch of things I want to watch. I just have not had the time. I really want to watch Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I've heard that is fantastic. So I'll be watching that pretty soon too. Let's see. What am I reading? Not much. Been really horrible about that. I'm sorry. And then podcasts, right? Podcasts. More of the same, guys. I'm going to tout the same exact things, talk about the same exact things because I'm really into Something Was Wrong. It is such a good podcast. I cannot tell you how great that podcast is. Now, I think it's the 4th season. It's the one about the Guyana tragedy, the Reverend Jim Jones and that whole thing. And everybody drinking Kool-Aid and dying. Sorry, spoiler alert. It happened a long time ago. But it kind of became more of a historical podcast there. Now, they do have someone on the show that's a survivor of that. And so it does make sense that it's in there. It's just, I know plenty about that already. I've seen the interviews with this person, actually, and that survived this. And so I kind of skipped over that one, and I'm on to the next one. But I highly recommend listening to Something Was Wrong because it's really opened my eyes to gaslighters and people that manipulate people and try and control them. And a lot of times they don't even know that's what they're doing. But yeah, check that out if you get a chance. Something was wrong. I'll actually put a link to it in the notes. And that's about it. I mean, I listen to Mr. Baldwin podcasts and so watch his videos pretty faithfully on YouTube. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Really not much else going on besides that. Royals have had a pretty good sweep. They swept a doubleheader yesterday, which was awesome. So they're playing all right now, but not great. So I think our all-star was Salvador Perez, but he's out on injury, so I don't think we'll even have an all-star this year. But yeah, it's and then I saw a little footage too of Ryan Brown from the Kansas Jayhawks. He got drafted to Denver Nuggets, I think. But anyway, I saw some footage of him in kind of a rookies tournament type thing or game. And dude, he was awesome, man. I think he's going to be great in the NBA. I mean, I know Ochai Agbaji will be great, but I think Ryan Brown will be pretty solid in the NBA. So I'm looking forward to that. I've actually talked to my buddy, TV, and he lives in Denver area, and he was kind of throwing a little crap about this Jayhawk coming over to to Colorado to play. And I said, yeah, it'll be unusual for you guys to have a solid national champion in your state. Anyway, that's kind of snark we do back and forth at each other. But I mean, that's about it, guys. I did watch a really interesting video also on a guy who claims that he was set to be a school shooter back in the 90s, but avoided doing that. And I'll put the video in the notes as well, so you can go check it out. But it's really pretty amazing. And you'll hear some of the stuff that he says about the toxicity of, be a man and that kind of garbage in our society. He discusses that, and he talks about how you just have to, I'll just put the link in, you guys watch it. I'm thinking about possibly doing a guest on the podcast and talking a little bit about that whole thing and about how it contributes sometimes to depression and things like that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's it, guys. Let me go ahead and put an end to this episode. I appreciate you guys listening. It's great to have you along for the ride, and I will have another one up for you next week. By then, I'll probably have only listened to Frank Black and the Catholics, and I probably will have driven my wife crazy by then, even though she kind of likes him too, but not like I do. But yeah, looking forward to that. And then, I did watch All I Can Say, which is the documentary about Shannon Hoon. That's all footage that he shot with his own camera, and some of the last footage is just like 4 hours before he was found dead of an overdose. My buddy, I haven't seen in like 17 years. He came over and we hung out and watched that, and we listened to some records. We had a real good time hanging out. We're probably going to hang out more now, which is awesome. But yeah, it's quite a documentary, and it's definitely done in a different fashion, which I really appreciated. So I forgot to put this on the stuff that I've watched or stuff that I'm watching. But yeah, it's pretty solid. I'll try and put a link in the notes too, if I can remember that. But thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll have a new episode for you next week also. And, get off my lawn.